Let me tell you something most people won't admit out loud. You can have Wi-Fi, followers, group chats, and still feel like you're stranded on an island with no signal. That's the kind of loneliness we deal with today. Not the dramatic movie kind. The quiet, invisible kind that sneaks into your everyday life. A while ago, I noticed something strange. I wasn't sad. I wasn't crying into my pillow. I wasn't isolated in a dark room. But I felt disconnected. I'd be in a room with people and still feel like I wasn't really there. Messages came in, I'd leave them on read. Someone would call me and I'd let it ring, then pretend I missed it. I thought I just needed space. But the truth? I was lonely, and I didn't even realize it. Here's the wild thing. Most people don't know they're lonely. We think loneliness looks like someone sitting alone at a park bench, staring into the clouds. But the new loneliness, it looks like scrolling for hours. It looks like replying, "ha ha," in group chats without feeling anything. It looks like being surrounded by noise and still feeling unnoticed. And maybe this sounds familiar to you too. We don't live in small tribes or close communities anymore. We live in busy apartments, crowded cities, silent rooms. We talk more through screens than faces. You can have 5,000 followers and not have one person you feel safe calling at 2 a.m. What makes it even more confusing is that loneliness today doesn't always hurt loudly. It whispers. It shows up like this. You feel tired but not physically. You feel disconnected but can't explain why. You feel like people wouldn't really notice if you disappeared for a while. Nothing's exactly wrong, but nothing feels right either. For me, it started slow. I'd cancel plans and say I was busy, but really I just didn't feel connected to anyone. I'd open social media hoping to feel included, then somehow end up feeling worse. I was surrounded by people, but none of it felt real. And the scariest part? I thought it was normal. We've been tricked into thinking connection means activity. Likes, comments, streaks, notifications. But here's the truth. Attention is not connection. Proximity is not closeness. Noise is not warmth. And loneliness isn't always about being alone. It's about not feeling understood, not feeling seen, not feeling like you matter to anyone in a real way. But I didn't get that at first. I thought I was just in my own bubble or low energy. I told myself, I just need some time alone. But time alone doesn't hurt. Loneliness does. The worse it got, the more I pulled away. I'd think, I don't want to bother anyone, or they won't get it anyway. And then something weird happened. The longer I disconnected, the harder reconnecting felt. Even sending a message felt awkward, like I was interrupting people's lives. And then one day it hit me. I wasn't avoiding people because I was peaceful. I was avoiding people because I felt replaceable. Here's the part no one talks about. Loneliness in the modern world isn't caused by lack of people. It's caused by lack of depth. We're overstimulated and underconnected. We're always talking, but rarely feeling heard. We have access to everyone and closeness to almost no one. And when that happens for too long, your heart starts to go numb. You stop expecting real connection. You tell yourself you're fine on your own. And sometimes that works until one night you realize you have so much to say and no one to really say it to. But here's what changed things for me, and maybe it'll help you too. 1. I stopped pretending I didn't need people. I used to act like I was self-sufficient. I'm fine. I don't need help. I'm just doing my own thing. It sounded strong, but really it was self-protection. Humans are wired for connection. Admitting that doesn't make you weak, it makes you honest. 2. I reached out in small ways, not with dramatic conversations or deep confessions, just tiny things. Sending a voice note instead of a dry emoji, asking someone how they really are, replying to a message instead of thinking about replying and forgetting. One small interaction can wake your brain back up to connection. 3. I created real moments instead of passive ones. Scrolling doesn't create closeness. Consuming other people's lives doesn't make you part of them. I started suggesting little hangouts, a walk, a call, a coffee, a shared playlist. Not big gatherings, just presence. 4. I let people see the in-between version of me, not the composed perfect version, the I'm not okay but I don't know why version, the I miss talking to someone version, the real version. And guess what? Vulnerability makes people come closer. Masks keep them far. And here's something important. Feeling lonely doesn't mean you're broken. It just means you're human, living in a world where real connection takes effort. You don't need 10 people around you. Sometimes one honest moment or one person who truly understands you is enough. If you feel like you've drifted away or that no one would notice if you disappeared, you're not invisible. You're not alone, even if it feels that way right now. Real connection starts small. A message, a call, a simple, "Hey, how are you?" If this spoke to you, don't just scroll away. Leave a comment that says, "I feel it." Not for the algorithm, but for the person who needs to see they're not the only one. Maybe that's how connection starts again. Right here, right now.